way more good players that have it on. When they come down, it's off.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. All right, I'm here on the range. It's closed right now, so I can't hit any balls, but I've done something recently on the channel that has been the biggest change for my driver of anything that I've ever done on the channel. On the channel, I've interviewed a lot of different people about how to hit driver better, especially because it's always been the weakest part of my game. Like, I can create some speed, but the straightness has always been a challenge. And if I'm going to shoot a good round, it's always because I hit driver well. Well, anyway, when I had Kirill Gurevich on the channel, who makes this thing called the sensor edge, so you squeeze, it just shows when and how much you're squeezing the golf club. When I had him on, I really started to think about something in a totally different way. What I figured out with Kirill is that, and you may have seen this before, but I figured out some new things about it. You can do whatever you want, but in general, for me anyway, and I think this goes into a pattern that good players are doing, that I'm trying to do more of, is that in transition, you have to squeeze it more than I was thinking. You're actually squeezing the grip quite firm, all the way to about here. And then from there, you let go of it much more than I thought, okay? And then the way that you, now this is the new part, the way that you let go of it has got to be like this. Not let go of it and let it do this. Although there is some of that, but you just don't force that. You just kind of let it go into this more of a spanking release. And the other thing that goes with, that we'll get into a little bit later, is that now this has to work with the body. So if you're down low, see how my left leg is here, and I'm pushing the ground. If you can push the ground at the same time you spank with this, then you get this, this control of the face that I have really never had before. And I'll hit some shots on the launch monitor and some other things like that to show this, but then also do some exercises. So the first thing, I built this afternoon to show it, but also to help me train on it. So what this is it's like a foam rubber pipe insulation thing. Okay, so when you squeeze it, you can see you squeeze it, it's very squishy. And this is something that the super speed sticks people have been getting big into recently, as far as, and I was chatting with them on Instagram, as far as getting people more speed. They found this really high correlation between two things: forearm strength and higher speed, but also like, and I think this is the part that's missing from a lot of training protocols and the way people think about forearm strength, is this thing called forearm impulse strength. So that's basically how fast you can squeeze and how fast you can then release and relax. Because what's happening in the swing is you do squeeze the grip. Good players squeeze the grip firm, like sometimes like up to like 100 pounds or more of squeeze with both hands. But the moment that the time that it's squeezing at its most is like instant. It's almost as soon as it gets to that much squeeze, it instantly releases. So I think that a lot of the things where like farmer carries or like hangs on bars or like squeezing things and holding it real tight for a long period of time, I think that is, from the people that I've talked to from the workout space that are getting big into this impulse strength, that is not the kind of strength you're really ideally looking for. What you're looking for is like a burst strength that then can immediately relax. All right, so I'm at the park and this is gonna work on the impulse. So we wanna be able to squeeze it, but then let go. So it's jump, squeeze it as hard as you can, and then let go. The whole thing takes like a second. Jump, let go. Like 10 of those. Let go. Yeah, jump, squeeze, let go. You shouldn't be hanging for more than about 2 seconds. Squeeze, let go. Squeeze, let go. Again, jump, squeeze, let go. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use this. You can go, this whole thing costs $6 and you can make like 12 of them for $6. So, and then I'm going to show you some things workout wise you can do, and then finally some like moves and training things. So what you do with this is you go here and you squeeze it really hard, and then you release it. And the reason I was talking about the super speed sticks is because now they make on their super speed product, they have some kind of product where it's a grip a whole lot like this, so that you can put a lot more squeeze into it and also get some feedback about how much you're squeezing it. So you go here, you squeeze it really hard, and then you let it go. So it looks like this. You kind of do it in chunks or pieces first, and then you do it all together. So you go here, squeeze it, and then let it go. So squeeze it, let it go. And the let it go part has to go with your leg and your whole lead side going like that away from the ball. And that, so your hands are relaxing as this whole side is pushing you that way. So that's kind of the move. Squeeze it, let it go. And the hard part of this, which is why I recommend when you're doing this, put something like there that you can try to avoid. Because sometimes if you just let it go, you'll let it go off plane or above plane. So we still want to keep it contained this way as we're letting the hands go like this. So a couple exercises, we squeeze it, let it go. And then now all together, where we just do it for that short amount of time. Okay? Another good thing to do to feel this is we want this kind of thing, like if our fingers were like the Grinch's fingers, like hairy, long and hairy, and they were wet, and we were trying to get water off of our fingers like this, but we're using our left leg and left side to get that water off. Okay? And then ideally, after feeling that for a little bit, you take your actual driver, and now I'm gonna go somewhere else and I'm gonna hit some balls because we wanna see how it works actually in the monitor. Okay, so we're gonna get into the part of the video where we're actually hitting balls, and I got some really cool tech that we're gonna use to kind of show what's going on, and then also some visuals. So we're here at the Ortega Putt Lab Plus, and John is on the wheels of steel over here operating the TrackMan, and I have the hack motion on now to show. Because what I noticed is that when they're talking about wrist angles and things, and when you're doing this squeeze that I've been talking about, is that if your job was to squeeze something really hard like this thing, you would never squeeze it really hard and extend your wrist as you're squeezing really hard. Never saw anybody do that. But you would, if you're squeezing really hard, that kind of flexion that they're looking for that we see in the hack motion, that kind of happens. So golf teachers always talk about what to do and then what happens, and they're two different things. So actually both of these wrists are doing this in transition a little bit. So anyway, what we're gonna do is I'm using the hack motion, and I'm gonna do stuff with this training aid that I made, and then I'm also gonna do this dynamic impact drill that is on the hack motion. That is my favorite thing to do on the hack motion. One thing that I saw that they do in the super speeds protocol that I thought was pretty cool, because we're talking about not just strength of the forearms, but impulse strength, where you can do it quickly and then let go 5 times each hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're trying to go on and off as quick as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Then what I like to do is I got this, and I think this is probably the best way to do it. I wouldn't hit any balls with this stuff on, but I got just this shaft, and then I put this plumbing thing on there. And what you're gonna do is you go to the top, you squeeze it really firm, and then you start down for about the first foot, really giving this a squeeze, and then you don't let it go, but you soften your wrist through the bottom. So it's here, squeeze, let it go. And this will make your forearms tired. So I would do this do this at home, not really so much when you're hitting balls, because your forearms will get tired and then you'll hit the ball bad because your forearms are tired. But if you do this like at home, every other night or something like that, this little routine, it'll start to give you more strength. And they've seen that the correlation between forearm strength and club head speed is really high. And I don't know if it's a correlation causation thing, whether, you know, maybe just bigger guys have stronger forearms, but there is some kind of connection to having these like Popeye forearms and being able to create a lot of speed and having it be usable speed. So same thing then with the right arm. We're here, we give it a good squeeze and then feel like we let it go. We don't want to be squeezing it the whole time. Give it a good squeeze and let it go. Give it a good squeeze and let it go. Okay? So that's like the two main things we're doing. We're doing these impulse things with this, and then we are doing this control, let it go. Okay. Then what we can do is do fuller swings with this grip on. Control it, let it go. Control it, let it go. And you can feel that already. I mean, if you do that, I wouldn't do it more than 3 times a week. But if you do that consistently for a couple months where you're doing that, I mean, it'll be really good. And it's not like farmer carries or other things that is like you're holding something really heavy for a long time. That might be good, but what we really want to train is the ability to squeeze something really firm, but then immediately have it like relax. And that's kind of the secret sauce of this move. Okay, so now I'm using the hack motion because what I want to see is I want to see through. I like to have this bit of a W pattern that you can see in the bottom there. That W pattern means that I'm extending here. Then as I'm squeezing my grip, like I was doing with the noodle on, the foam rubber, as I'm squeezing it, that is making the flexion go down, okay? So I'm going towards flexion, right? A little bit. But then I want it to fully, when I'm letting it go, it's gonna start to go up again. But I like being in this impact drill because that's going to show me at impact, as I'm releasing this way, it's not going to fully get there at impact. It's going to be on its way there. So at impact, I'll be about like this. But I'm not going to have full swing shot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to feel here, squeeze, then hit the ball. It's a bit of a pauser, bit of a freezer, I should say. Very, very tough for me to do. Here, squeeze, release. That one was good.
After dead straight, you see the curve was 1 yard right, and started a little bit left and came back to the right, and so then it says the side was 9 feet to the left. It's a pretty good shot, and if you look up at the tracer up there, started a tiny bit left and came back right.
So I think this is like a missing thing that a lot of people, you can't really see under the hood of someone's golf swing, but you can kind of see the vapor trails of it, so to speak, where if somebody's like pretty sloppy here and then you see it stand up, it could be from how they're moving their body, but it could also be from how they're squeezing their hands, and that's kind of what I found.
Well, I have a lot of people come to me for lessons and they're holding onto the club. They don't have their right hand on the club at all.
Oh, it's like, show me.
It's just like this.
Oh, this is like
they don't have any. It's like they're really soft. They heard like hold it like a bird, or like you have a tube of toothpaste in your hand. So they go back like this. It's off, and they're coming in. They'll squeeze it. And I told them
So it goes from off to on.
Off to on. I've seen way more good players that have it on. When they come down, it's off.
Right.
So they go.
Right.
They squeeze it. They have it here, and then they throw it, and it's off. So you look at Phil Mickelson as a left-hander, DJ Singh is a right-hander, Fred Couples is a right-hander. You know, if you go down the line, you probably catch a few others. I don't know. I think I've seen Patrick Reed like that.
It's probably off. Yeah.
It's off.
Yeah.
So they're like that. It's not like.
Yeah.
It's like when you grab it, it kind of slows it down.
The drill again. So I'm here. I'm squeezing quite firm, like I feel to about there, but then through there, I'm totally letting it go. So it's here, squeeze, and then let it go. And I could do that more in parts and pieces, but that wasn't terrible. And then my impact was good. I was minus 20 in impact, so that's this with 0, and that there is minus 20. So that shows I had a flat left wrist, or even actually slightly arched. But I'm going to really challenge myself here and go here, squeeze, let it go. That was really good. So here's the full protocol inside, okay? I think I have it on my driver. I have it just on this shaft. I think this is better because you won't hit balls with it anyway. And I think training, the way you should train it, I think you will end up getting more use out of this than you will actually putting it on one of your clubs you don't use. All right, so what you do is we do 5 each hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On and off quick, like little bursts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then squeeze to here, then soft and release. So you're clenched and then soft and release there. 1. And it's almost like, and this is what I was saying about the body, you're squeezing it, and once this kicks, that's kind of the cue to let go with the hand. And that's kind of what feels good. 4, 5. 1, 2. Do like sets and reps of that. This is what Humar was saying to me about training rather than practice. Like, think of this as training, not practice. And then we're going here. So I'm pretty soft. So like if Ben Crenshaw, and in Tiger Woods' book, How I Play Golf, he talks about how firm he holds the putter, but it's a similar thing with these iron shots. I feel like I'm at like and this is totally individual from the data, but I feel like I'm at a 5 here, but then I'm gutting closer to like an 8. And then just for a second, right in transition, I'm getting pretty high, maybe like closer to a 9.5 or so. But then that immediately then goes all the way down through impact to like a 2. So it's 1, control it and let it go. That'd be a full swing. And then this would be the drill. 1, control it, let it go. Okay, that was a pretty good mix between a drill swing and a real swing. That was probably a lot closer to a real swing. Okay. All right, so one thing that I've been working on that I did when I was here with John Ortega is I'm working on more of this release here, okay? And we can see that in the graph. When that line goes up, that means I'm going from this towards that, okay? But there is an element of this supination that needs to happen as well. It's not just kick and this slaps. This has to happen a little bit, which I'm kind of forgetting about a little bit. So I just need to do the same thing, but get the face more square. So doing the drill again here. That was more of a more disciplined drill there. Yeah, that was great. Okay, so going to the numbers there.
Guy right here. Look at this guy. That one. See those 2 right on top of each
Yeah.
more or less.
Uh-huh.
So you see the face to path right there? Pretty much 0, right? So they see the curve is going to be super, super minimal right there. It's good.
What I like about this is the newest hack motion. And what I like about this is this does some things that the older one didn't do. The main thing that makes this so much more superior to the old one is this captures 8 times as many captures per second. So before they would have this kind of area of impact, which is such a quick time, that would get kind of skipped over, and some of the impact numbers wouldn't make sense. Milo, for example, who's on my channel a lot, it would say when it was on his right wrist that he was like that in impact. But then on the video, you could see, no, he was still in extension a lot because it had kind of skipped over that very brief moment of his fast impact. So now I'm in this free practice mode, and I should be able to see what's happening right here. So if I go, so the 3 things here, this is flexion extension. That looked like a really good. So in impact, I was -24. At address, I was 1 extended. And then at impact, I was -24. So that was really good. But what I want to see is this rotation number here, which is the most confusing of all these things. But you can see from right here all the way to there. So basically what's happening is it's going from here to there. If I didn't move at all, this is happening while this is extending. So I'm at like, I'm -24 to impact, but I'm like even more here. And then I am letting this happen while this happens at the same time. And that's why that was one of the reasons why that had a nice square face. So what does this mean for what we're talking about for this video? That your wrist positions are very intimately linked with your amount of wrist squeeze during the swing. And talking only about the wrist positions and not talking about the wrist pressures you're creating leaves a big part of the story out. If you try to just hit these wrist positions but don't have the pressure in the hands, you will really just be like creating the illusion of doing what the pros are doing. You won't have like, so you might have like a Ferrari with an engine of like a used Isuzu or something like that. We want to have it look and actually be what the guys are doing. So we're here, we are controlling it and letting it go. Be a fine shot. All right, so the final drill we're doing is let's really try to do this P5 freezer or so. So this would be P5. We're going to freeze all the way to P5 with quite a lot. Then the knee's going to kick and we're going to let it go. And just see if we can get the face squared and get kind of a decent shot from there. So here we're squeezed to there and kick and let it go. And I like doing it this way in parts and pieces because it will be really hard to get yourself to let go of it enough to square this face. You'll see shots a lot like that almost all the time when you do this. So I'm here, I'm squeezing, and then let it go. Trying that. Here, squeeze. I want to see that ramp really go up. So if I had it on both, I want to see that. You see, that's what's happening, is that's going up, but this is staying in flexion too long like that. So this has got to do both parts. A real, here, squeeze, and a real free release both ways. Here. That's better, and my body moved more. Okay, final thing now, you're going to do golf course-wise. Obviously, you're not going to be thinking about any of this stuff on the course, but you can break down some of what you've been thinking about to make this like a usable thing for the course. So what I've been doing is set up. I'm feeling like I'm controlling the club more, like it's squeezing it more, and then letting it go. And then containing the whole thing this ways, you know, not letting it get out that way. So control it and let it go. So watch my target. That should be good. Yeah, that's the golf course swing. That's what I want. So
That's a really good one too.
yeah, this was more of a foolish shot rather than a drill one, and that went further too.
Yeah.
173.7. On the hack motion, we can see at impact, I was all the way down to -28. And that's why I like the new hack motion, because this thing used to skip over impact and always tell me like I was only like -8 or 6 at impact. And I was like, no, I felt like I had a flat left wrist there, or sometimes extended. This one is like actually really catching it. This has a nice smoothing of the line. It's not as jagged as it was before. So for a lot of reasons, I like that. If you guys are interested in getting the new hack motion, it's been like a huge hit amongst Be Better golfers. Go to hackmotion.com/BeBetterGolf. They have their own special landing page website for Be Better golfers. I think you're going to like it a lot. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate you watching this video. Thanks to John Ortega for having us over at his place here in Costa Mesa. And that's it. Click the subscribe button. If you want to see the full long version of this video, click the join button below to become a member of the Be Better Golf Club. You'll see a lot of additional extras and things that I've done with coaches and some of the longer footage and all the videos before they even get edited. I put them up there first and had a lot of good feedback from the people who joined the club. Thanks for watching.